Good evening. Good evening, people. Good evening. Let me try to get my live going. Let me try to get my live going. Happy Sabbath. Let me try to get my live going on Instagram. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Give me one more second. Let me just get this straight right here. Let me just get this straight right here. Pray that everybody is doing well. I pray that everybody is doing well today. Ross Whitey. I don't know why I want to say your name with like a Jamaican accent. What's up, King Tabernacle? What's up, Pamela? I just want to jump into it. Let me jump into it. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got some good stuff. Now let's start off. Today's lecture is entitled Black on the Sabbath. Now we know it's very difficult to be Black on a regular day, but it's especially hard to be Black on the Sabbath, because the Sabbath is supposed to be a holy day, and it's almost impossible to be Black and holy. I can hear people saying, well, how are you going to be white and holy? You can't be white and holy either. In fact, you can't be any kind of worldly identification and be holy. But let's get started.
Look at this. Is this white?
We're talking about.
Is this white?
We're talking about skin color.
I don't care. Is this white?
We're talking about skin color.
I don't care. Tell me your question.
Your skin
Is it
color
white?
is white.
No, it's not. This is
Not
white.
that white. That's an object. We're talking about skin color.
This is the same color.
You're white.
This is the option.
So what you think
one.
you are? You think what color are you?
I'm peach.
Bro.
Stupid.
Don't call me stupid.
Now, this little girl understands more than most adults. She's looking like, wait a minute, you saying I'm white, but this is, it doesn't make sense to a child because she hasn't been programmed and indoctrinated. So it doesn't make sense to her. This stuff only makes sense once you've gone through the Black programming. Let's play it again.
Look at this. Look at this. Is this white?
We're talking about.
Is this white?
We're talking about skin color.
I don't care. Is this white?
We're talking about skin color.
I don't care. Tell me your question.
Your skin
is it
color
white?
is white.
No, it's not. This is
Not
white.
that white. That's an object. We're talking about skin color.
This is the same color.
You're white.
This is the option.
So what you think you are? You think what color are you?
It's funny because she's trying to say opposite, but she's saying options. She's trying to say this is the opposite, but she's saying this is the option. This is actually hilarious to me, but it's actually genes at the same time.
Are you?
I'm peach.
Bro.
Stupid.
Don't call me stupid.
So she then I guess the girl asked her, what color are you? And she said, I'm peach. Again, white and black have nothing to do with skin color. And if they don't have anything to do with skin color, then we got to really question the whole white and black thing. They called Herschel Walker a white supremacist. So clearly they called Ben Carson a white supremacist. So clearly being white is not about skin color, nor being black, because they said that Kamala Harris was black. They said that Barack Obama was black. They even thought that Rachel Dolezal was black. What's up, everybody on YouTube? Pamela, Ross, King Tabernacle, Jahan, thank you for the super sticker. I'm gonna put it up right now. Melinda, Mika, Day Walt. Pamela says that the Bible says a child will lead them. Yeah, because a child is more connected to God because a child is more closer to the truth. Children accept the truth. You got to program a child to get them away from the truth. You got to. Otherwise, they're gonna see things for as a child might see somebody that's obese, and you're gonna say, "Oh, they plus size," and they're gonna be like, "No, they fat." Children, they honest. All they know is truth. They got to be taught deception. Play this one more time.
Look at this. Look at this. Is this white?
We're talking about.
Is this white?
We're talking about skin color.
I don't care. Is this white?
We're talking about skin color.
I don't care. Tell me your question.
Your skin
Is it
color
white?
is white.
No, it's not. This is
Not
white.
that white. That's an object. We're talking about skin color.
This is the same color.
You're white.
This is the option.
So what you think you
one.
are? You think what color are you?
I'm peach.
Bro.
Stupid.
Don't call me stupid.
And again, this child knows more than most adults. I got some more videos. But again, black and white had nothing to do with skin color. They even said that Bill Clinton was the first black president. And so we've seen throughout history where people were able to pass and all this. So black has nothing to do with your skin color. So if it doesn't, then we know it's some kind of evil game that's being played on the people, the white part and the black part. And I would say this, it's hard being black on the Sabbath. She meant to say opposite. She was trying to say opposite. She got the old words mixed up, you know. What's up, Venus? What's up, Nomo? What's up, Doug? What's up, Miss Goldie? I didn't know Chuck was going live tonight. Doug Johnson says black is an act. Yes, it is. You have to act black, which is why they'll tell you you're trying to act black or trying to act white. But let's get into some of the meat and potatoes of this thing today. I had one more, but let me go with this one.
Apparent cardiac arrest. When they got here, they discovered someone had died and also found that several people were hiding children in a back room. Tonight, 4 children less than 10 years old are in DCF custody after authorities and public officials say they were found in an apartment with 6 cross-dressing men, sex toys, drugs, and alcohol. Firefighters discovered them after one of those adults died at the apartment.
It was obviously sickening, to hear from those that were there at the scene.
So they're not disclosing the race of these people. That is by design. If it was, again, let me say it like this. Because they're of the LGBTQ community, they don't do negative press. So I imagine that the people involved are Caucasian and the children are what you would call melanated heavily. This is my thought when I saw this story. They aren't revealing anything because, again, even the guy calls them cross-dressers instead of transgender. And so they don't do negative press. So you probably won't ever know who's involved in this or anything. But I can almost guarantee the children are heavily melanated. Let's continue.
Describing what they saw and the actions of the adults that were in the room.
The apartment was in extreme unsanitary conditions. All adult parties were being uncooperative and denied having children in the apartment.
So, and I also say this, if it was 4 white men that were doing this, their faces, addresses, and all information will be plastered all over social media. So we know there's a reason why they're not disclosing who's involved. If it was 4 white people and 4 black children, it's a no-brainer to blast this over worldwide news. So clearly there's a reason why they aren't showing this.
Drugs, alcohol, drug paraphernalia, sex toys, etc. And so they were concerned. They had reached out to me just to make sure that it didn't get swept under the rug.
The governor says DCF is now involved in investigating.
Just heartbreaking, terrible situation. DCF has taken those children into its care and custody right now.
Now, give me 1 second. Doug said he sent me a video. What's your name on Instagram? I don't see you. I don't see Doug Johnson on Instagram. Yeah, I don't see it on Instagram. Hey, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, Instagram. Give me 1 second, y'all. I forgot to send one thing. I forgot to send one thing. I'm sorry. Shoot. Okay. Sorry about that, IG. Oh, Dig Doug. Oh. Why are you not coming up? Here you go. Trying to see what you sent me. I don't see anything. Oh, that's the wrong. Oh, that's Dig Doug. That's the great value Dig Doug. Dig Doug 0020. Where Dig Doug 3000? Okay, let me see. Oh, you sent me the demonic interview? Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it from my iPad though. Okay, let me get back to this video again.
For an apparent cardiac arrest. When they got here, they discovered someone had died and also found that several people were hiding children in a back room. Tonight, 4 children less than 10 years old are in DCF custody after authorities and public officials say they were found in an apartment with 6 cross-dressing men, sex toys, drugs, and alcohol.
So when they say the word cross-dressing is a way to say that the men were straight. When they talk about cross-dressing is for straight men that like to wear women's clothing. So they purposefully made you think that they were straight men doing this. But we know they were actually LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community. And I can guarantee again, based on the condition of the apartment, based on where the area probably is, based on how it looks, I can almost guarantee that the children were heavily melanated and they don't want to disclose it because I guarantee the people that were doing it were Caucasian and trans. Just guarantee it. But let's continue. We're going to run through these videos. We're going to run through them. Oh, I got a good video right here. Now, In the spirit of being black on the Sabbath, let's peek a little bit into black culture for a second.
Where I bought 3 bitches to Ross crib. They all was from DC. We gonna say the red one. He like, hey, come holler at me. He like, what's up with the red one? I'm like, I can't do the red one, bro. She got, you know, we about 4 or 5 abortions in. Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do the red one. He like, you sure you can't do the red one? I'm like, man. So he let it slide. A couple weeks later, he get in the club. Now, this specific club, red in there. But this club, I got about, how I feel about red, I got about 4 or 5 of them in there, how I feel about red. And my other bitch was doing too much that night. Like, basically, I couldn't keep my eyes on red. And she fell right over there in Rose's lap, man. He like...
Now, I want you to think about this guy dealing with several women, at least 5, multiple abortions. The interviewer doesn't even bat an eye, doesn't even blink, laughs, keeps talking. Just think now. Just think about you're talking to a man that's messing with multiple women, having multiple abortions, and you don't even blink when he tells you this. And he's talking about sleeping with these women, obviously unprotected, sharing the women. Now, this is an indictment on the women as well, because how does this guy have access to so many women? And the problem with black culture when it comes to dating is a small percentage of the men are fathering all the children. I know you don't want to hear it, but it's a lot of, they say it's about 30% of the men that are fathering the children. Single men that aren't married, or sitting aren't married. But anyway, but the interviewer doesn't even bat an eye. So just let you know how depraved black culture is. And the reason why I get on black culture so much is because black people have the audacity to say that they are kings, queens, gods, goddesses, and the chosen people. So you can't walk around saying you're this great thing and then involve yourself in this type of behavior. You just can't do it. So if black folks would stop talking like that, I promise I would get off this. But because I hear black people with so much pride and so much arrogance and so much, we're the greatest thing on the earth, we're better than everybody else, this is why I hold the fire to black culture. Let's continue.
And I had so much going on, I'm like, go ahead.
Fuck it, right? All right, go ahead.
I came to holler at him the next day, and when I got off the elevator on his floor,
Red walking out.
I'm walking towards his room, Red walking out. I said, you bitch. That was a situation where I bought 3 bitches to Ross crib. They all was from DC. We gonna say the red one. He like, hey, come holler at me. He like, what's up with the red one? I'm like, I can't do the red one, bro. She got, you know, we about 4 or 5 abortions in. Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do the red one. He like, you sure you can't do the red one? I'm like, man. So he let it slide. A couple weeks later, he get in the club. Now, this specific club.
Now, my question is, if Rick Ross, his boss, is not going to hold him accountable, and the interviewer isn't going to hold him accountable, and the women aren't going to hold him accountable, and his friends and family aren't going to hold him accountable, then my question is, who can hold him accountable? This is the billion-dollar question. Who can hold black people accountable?
Club,
red
in there. But this club, I got about, how I feel about red, I got about 4 or 5 of them in there, how I feel about red. And my other bitch was doing too much that night. Like, basically, I couldn't keep my eyes on red. And she fell right over there in Rose's lap, man. He like, and I had so much going on, I'm like, go ahead.
Fuck it, right? All right, go ahead.
I came to holler at him the next day. And when I got off the elevator on his floor,
Red walking out.
I'm walking towards his room, Red walking out. I said, you bitch.
But this is celebrated, though. This is celebrated. This is a fun story. But he's the same person that would say white people are racist, police brutality. I'm gonna just say it like this: you can't say on one hand America's this terrible place, and then on the other hand say I have multiple women with multiple abortions. You can't do it, because to me, if America was truly racist and what you all said it was, you all would be too afraid to do something like that because of the consequence. Because you're black, you wouldn't be allowed to have this much fun, just have abortions and children and no consequence. So the fact that you all live such a free life, America isn't racist. You can do it in China. He can do this in China. Okay. Let's continue. Let's continue. Okay. Let me go to my can. Here we go. Is it Candace on?
Yep, they've taken the register, and they are now running out of the McDonald's with the register. How's that for a Juneteenth celebration? Nothing says I'm enjoying my Black freedom quite like twerking on top of a Wing Street and Pizza Hut. Juneteenth, y'all.
Now, Candace Owens said Juneteenth was ghetto, and somebody posted it, and I went to the comments on the page just to see if folks would say, you know what, she's right. Everybody made it about her and not the decadent behavior. So again, who can hold Black people accountable? This is why I say it's impossible to be Black on the Sabbath, because to be Black goes against holiness. Even by the mere fact that you can't hold someone else accountable is already something that's bad. Let's play it again, though.
Yep, they've taken the register, and they are now running out of the McDonald's with the register. How's that for a Juneteenth celebration? Nothing says I'm enjoying my Black freedom quite like twerk.
Those might have even been, hold on, them girls might have been in a sorority. Those might actually be college. Hold up.
Nothing says.
Oh yeah. Those weren't children. Those young ladies were in a sorority, because I can hear the chants. So you got some grown women, not children, on top of the Wing Street and Pizza Hut. Grown women.
Celebration. Nothing says.
Those are grown women. I thought it was children. Grown women. I can almost halfway excuse the children, but you see, it's grown women representing their sorority, the Black sorority, on Juneteenth, strolling and dancing on top of the Wing Street and Pizza Hut. And I'm going to ask how they even got up there. That's all kind of OSHA violations to even be on top of that roof. You can get the whole place shut down and sued. If one of y'all fall off, they're going to sue the Wing Street and the Pizza Hut. Okay, there was... It's hard to see these videos because this thing is so small.
A time.
Okay, I'm going to save that one. I'm going to save that one for this one. Okay, so I'm just trying to find this other video. And I really can't. I can't see them. That's the problem, because the thing is too small. Oh, here it goes. I got it. Oh, it's not going to play for some reason. That's weird. There's no sound, but I might have it on here. I might have it on here, y'all. Oh, maybe it's no sound. Maybe it's no sound. But anyway, the point is that this is how Juneteenth was celebrated. So again, to me, Juneteenth is a very foolish holiday. It's just a very foolish holiday. I mean, you're celebrating the fact that you didn't know you were free. It's crazy. I got one more thing to go to. And then we can get into this video by Jenny the John. Now, I'm going to play two videos. One of Pastor Jennings and this foolishness, and why can't I see these? Oh man, come on. I got that one. I got that one. I just need the pastor. Jeez, that's it.
Miss Shine, let me ask you a question. If I do this right now on live, let me ask you a question. If I do this.
No, ain't it. Sorry about this, y'all. This might be it.
Privilege, quick point of personal privilege.
Yes.
God.
It's crazy because this is, how do I get, I wish I get these bigger, man, so I can just scroll through them. Because that's the problem. Is this it?
That you're having a spiritual experience when you land with the band?
Hold on, that ain't it. Every video but the one I want is coming up. Every video. Could this be it?
Do you have the exact definition where it went from to?
I can't find it. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't see it. Let me go to this one more folder. The one I had. I can't find it, y'all. I'm sorry. I cannot find it. It was a good video too. It was a good video. All right.
I used to think that
Tell you that
Okay, let me get to the video. So we got Brother Polite. Let me go back to Brother Polite then. I want that video too. I don't know why I can't find it. Hold on.
We have over 200 people in the building. They wasn't here when you had the first thing up, so we gotta get back.
Here, but this is better.
And I want to play some of the other content too.
I showed them the other one, but let me show this because this right here is going to be what people need to know. Because this is what the actual charges that he's going to have to. Well, these are the charges that he's faced right now with lewd and lascivious charges.
So basically, Brother Polite came out like I thought he would. And he came out and said that he didn't plead guilty to child molestation. But it's really just a play on words because he knows that Black people aren't going to doing due diligence when it comes to what he's saying. Better take his word for it, because I'm going through several posts, and most people are defending him. I've heard arguments go from that if we focused on the white man like this, we would be okay. We're hating on him, just all kind of stuff. But really, it's all about folks not being able to say that they're wrong. And that's just pride. For you to say that I got tricked by this person or this person, you know, so it's just pride. That's all. It's not any deeper than that. But let me go to his him on YouTube talk, and then I bring this guy back up.
So I'm just here to address some popular rumors that have been spread to rectify the matter. There's been a rumor spread. There's two main rumors that's been spread. But the main rumor is that I have pled guilty to child molestation. So let me clear up the two things that need to be addressed. Did I make a plea? There's been no plea. Did I plead guilty to child molestation? Never did. So the people that are spreading this rumor, I'm asking you out of respect to my family, respect to my wives, respect to my children, because you clearly hate me. And you clearly hate me more than you have any love for another child. So I ask you guys to respectfully stop spreading rumors. I never made a plea, and I never pled to no damn child molestation. So no matter how much you want to believe it, no matter how much you want to propagate it, no matter how much it excites you to say that, it's absolutely false. I never made a plea, and I never pled to no damn child molestation. So these two things need to be rectified right now. There are no pleas on my behalf, and I have not pled to no damn child molestation.
So you heard him quite clear. So now let's see what actually happened. I'll play this one first.
It looks like I was right again. Brother Polite, also known as Michael Nowick, has pled guilty. Yes, you heard me correctly. Brother Polite has pled guilty to one, if not all, of these charges listed right here on the screen. Over 2 years ago, he was accused of having inappropriate dealings with a 14-year-old. And y'all came on here and y'all called me a coon, an agent, and a self-hating black man. Well, not only is
they did me the same way. When I exposed Brother Polite last year, and again, he's on record as saying he doesn't care if Malachi York molested children, he's still a God to him. He's on record saying this. So again, I'm just telling you all, I got the same scrutiny for exposing Brother Polite, the same type of scrutiny. And I asked the question, if you can't hold black people accountable, then how are black people any different from a demon, evil spirit? If nobody can say what you're doing is wrong, then what separates black folks from being evil? I'm just asking a question. Because if people are getting scrutinized for talking about a person that is a child molester, I'm just trying to figure out, well, then who can hold black people accountable? Because surely it isn't God. It isn't other black people. It isn't white people. So who can do it? Oh, I know who can. Satan.
Is your big homie a scammer, thief, and a liar, but now your big homie is a chomo. Don't believe me? Let's get to the footage with this attorney entering into the plea deal.
For the record, David Harris on behalf of the defendant, Michael Nowak. Okay, thank
Here we
you.
go.
And I believe there
See,
may
I
have
told
been
you guys, you
a
just
couple
go
of people
time.
on Zoom. Okay, yes, ma'am. State.
Your Honor, I believe at this time we'll be asking for a joint continuance, but to set this case rate plea either sometime within the next 2 weeks. We have come to a plea agreement. I've sent over a written plea agreement to defense counsel. Just so that Your Honor is aware, what we wish to happen is for the defendant to enter into the plea within the next 2 weeks, but we are going.
She done said plea about 4 times already. She said plea about 4 times. Jahan said, you know, he's lying by the way his glasses look. But we can go back to Brother Polite real quick. We can go back to Brother Polite. And you see, I know that people lie. And I know that black folks lie especially. I know this. So when I see black people pleading, like when I saw Juicy Smollett talking, I just, black folks lie because it's culturally acceptable to lie. Like in black culture, it's okay to lie as long as what you're lying about is a big deal. It's okay. Many people said, who cares if Juicy Smollett is lying? America's racist. Like it just, so again, if black folks can't be held accountable, then what's separating black folks from being evil? So Brother Polite, he's already lied several times saying he didn't take a plea deal. Now it's a play on words because he didn't enter the plea. His attorney entered the plea on his behalf. But again, this is how his slick tongue works. He didn't enter the plea. His attorney entered it. Notice he didn't say, my attorney entered the plea. But let's listen to him again.
So please stop the freaking rumors. The last thing I'm going to address very quickly. This means that people are lying. If I was lying, you'll be able to find something that contradicts what I'm saying. I made no plea, and there is no plea for child molestation on my behalf. I never plead to no child molestation, and I never made a plea in the first place. These are lies. These are lies.
So we're going to find out what he pled to. And somebody said, you know, just based on the outfit, he's guilty. I mean, you know, just based on Jahan is right. I'm gonna tell you what makes him guilty. Why is he sitting in front of a picture of some flower? Like I don't know. That's them old flowers in your grandparents' house, them old flower pictures from like anyway. But again, he's saying, I didn't plead, and I didn't plead a child molestation. Why would he make that specification? Like, why would he say, why wouldn't I didn't plead be enough? Why wouldn't me just saying I didn't plead at all and then leave it at that? Why would he say I didn't plead to child molestation? We're going to find out why he's specifying what he didn't plead to, but we already heard his lawyer saying they're entering a plea deal on his behalf, that they're going to enter the plea in 2 weeks. And also she's going to say that they want him to be able to stay at home for 60 days until he goes to prison. But let's continue.
And that's it. Now you could try to turn it into a conversation about what you should say is this and what you should say is that. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I ain't paid 6 figures for a defense, for me to be out here speaking on my own behalf during a wild ass situation. Now the white man is the goddamn devil to you guys all the damn time, every day around the week, until he says something about someone that disagrees with your religion or your politics. Lastly, before I get off this,
somehow, some way, he is entering a plea deal to plead guilty for lewd and lascivious acts, and somehow he brings up the white man. I told you all that anytime the black man faces adversity, he always points to the white man. This is why I say that if a man has an excuse, he's not fit to lead. This is why. Because amidst all this going on, he's somehow thinking about the white man. Let's continue.
This live, I just want to address the likes of this guy, just finding out who he is. Hold on. Who's this guy? What's this guy's name? Trying to get it clear. Hold on. Let's get it clear. Okay, got it. This guy's name is supposed to be Tony the Closer, right? So this Tony the Closer guy, hold on.
Is he trying to DJ? What is he doing? Why he keep scratching and mixing, man? What is he doing? Come on, man. The raggedy flip phone he got, man. Come on, stop. Play the video. Stop stalling.
This Tony the Closer guy, he posted this. Brother Polite pleads guilty to molesting a 14-year-old child. It's a complete.
Someone asked, who is Brother Polite? Brother Polite is a person that Black people believe is leading them to the promised land. Brother Polite, if you talk bad about him, they're going to call you a sellout and a coon doing the white man's bidding. Brother Polite is a woke, conscious, vegan, multiple wives, just wears designer clothes, just all over, just a walking contradiction. And his mentor, his person that he calls his God, Malachi York, is serving 125 years for molesting hundreds of children. That's his person that he looks up to, that he calls a God. And he even said, I don't care if he molests children, he's still a God to me. So Brother Polite, if you look him up, he is one of the leaders in the Black community. That's who he is. He's a leader.
Lie. So people reached out to him via the same post that he posted. Okay, hold on. Let's get you guys in tune. He posted this. His name's right there. Tony the Closer. You see that? Tony the Closer. I don't even, just find out who this dude is. His name is Tony the Closer. So he posted that I pled guilty to molestation of a 14-year-old child. He posted that. When informed that that is character defamation, this is not true. When he was informed that this is absolutely false, there has been no plea, and I never pled to no damn child molestation, guess what happened? He took this down. But guess what other people did? Other people reposted this as if it was a fact.
Man, let me go back to this other video. I'm trying to listen to this. Let me go to this video. Let me go right here.
Lewd and lascivious. So
let me go here first.
To suspend the sentence, the state is.
Let's listen to the lawyer talking.
Yes, ma'am. State.
Your Honor, I believe at this time we'll be asking for a joint continuance, but to set this case rate plea either sometime within the next 2 weeks. We have come to a plea agreement. I've sent over a written plea agreement to defense counsel. Just so that Your Honor is aware, what we wish to happen is for the defendant to enter into the plea within the next 2 weeks, but we are going to suspend the sentence. The state is asking 60 days. I know the defense is going to make it.
So again, they drafted up a plea agreement. Now, do you think, now I want you to think for a second, they're going to draft up a plea agreement and give him 2 weeks to accept the plea agreement? Now, I'm going to tell you how you're going to find out that he knows about the plea agreement. He knows about it. Because of, let's go back to what she said. Let's go back.
Just a couple of people on Zoom. Okay, yes, ma'am. State.
Your Honor, I believe at this time we'll be asking for a joint continuance, but to set this case rate plea either sometime within the next 2 weeks. We have come to a plea agreement. I've sent over a written plea agreement to defense.
We have come to a plea agreement. That means the lawyers are communicating and there was a plea that's been agreed upon. What he's saying is he hasn't entered a plea agreement, but it's a play on words. You have 2 weeks to sign the paperwork. You have 2 weeks to sign the paperwork. All he's trying to do now is buy time so he can make this a big conspiracy by the white man. This is the same thing that happened to the person that he said was a god, Malachi York with the Nubians, who's serving 125 years for molesting and impregnating young girls and molesting young boys. Now he's going to blame the system and the white man for what's about to happen. But you heard the attorney say, we've agreed upon the plea agreement. That's why it got drafted up and sent to them, and he has 2 weeks to sign it.
Counsel, just so that Your Honor is aware, what we wish to happen is for the defendant to enter into the plea within the next 2 weeks, but we are going to suspend the sentence. The state is asking 60 days. I know the defense is going to make its own request, but
now think about this now. And this is, and again, Black culture does not deal with context. It's all emotion and propaganda driven. It's not context. Now, she said they also agreed upon a suspended sentence. Now, why would the prosecution agree upon a suspended sentence for 60 days? Let's find out.
we're asking 60 days so that then the defendant can surrender, because this will require incarceration.
So he's allowed 60 days. And again, this is how you know it is a plea agreement. Look at all the stipulations. He's allowed 2 months because you have to serve time. He's allowed 2 months to get his affairs in order. What he's going to do is use that 2 months to put up this big conspiracy theory that the white man's trying to get him. The white man set him up. He gonna say this happened to all the Black. I'm telling you what he's gonna say. This happens to all the Black leaders. They take down all the Black. I'm telling you what he's gonna say. You can't be Black on the Sabbath because the Sabbath requires you to be holy, and you cannot be holy and be Black. Let's play it one more time for the people in the back. And dear brother Polite, I'm not taking this down. This ain't defamation. This is the truth. Let's continue.
The record. David Harris on behalf of the defendant, Michael Nowak.
Okay, thank
Here we
you.
go.
And I believe there
See,
may
I
have
told
been
you, Yates, you
a
just
couple
go
of people
time.
on Zoom. Okay, yes, ma'am. State.
Your Honor, I believe at this time we'll be asking for a joint continuance, but to set this case rate plea either sometime within the next 2 weeks. We have come to a plea agreement. I've sent over a written plea agreement to defense counsel.
So they agreed upon it, and she sent it to them, and he has 2 weeks to sign it. The lawyers have agreed. That means brother Polite. Well, brother Polite should be brother Rude, but brother Polite talked with his lawyer, and he agreed with what is being said. And we know this because they drafted it up and said, you got 2 weeks to sign it. If you don't agree with the plea agreement, guess what? We go on to trial. And if we go to trial and they put that girl on the witness stand and her mother, you know you screwed. It's over. So let's continue.
Just so that Your Honor is aware, what we wish to happen is for the defendant to enter into the plea within the next 2 weeks, but we are going to suspend the sentence. The state is asking 60 days. I know the defense is going to make its own request, but we're asking 60 days.
So the state is asking for 60 days from turning itself in. The defense going to ask for more time. And he may ask, I'm gonna correct myself from earlier, he may ask for more time. So he may ask for 3 months, he may ask for more time, but again, during his time of freedom, he's going to put together a campaign of how the white man is trying to bring him down. I'm just telling y'all. The state's offering him 2 months. they're going to counter that 2 months with some more times. We can get on social media and do all that. That's why I told y'all on my last live that he put up his broadcast channel on Instagram. He's going to go through a whole campaign about this stuff. I'm telling you, he's going to go overboard on this stuff. But we already know, no matter what he says, his lawyer, the defense lawyer, the defense's lawyer, and the prosecution's lawyers agreed upon this plea deal. Let's go.
So that then the defendant can surrender, because this will require incarceration.
So now, if the plea deal requires incarceration, what do you think the trial is going to cause? The reason why he can take a plea deal and get time is because they have DNA evidence. They have the DNA evidence. It's a wrap. He has to take this deal or he's going to prison for a long time, which he's not going to do. He's going to take this plea deal. That's why he keeps saying, I didn't plead to child molestation. I'm going to show you what he pled to right now.
This is why he's telling niggas that he's not pleading guilty to child molestation charges, because the child molestation charges was dropped. He's going to have to, the charges that he's faced with right now is lewd and lascivious conduct. So most people don't know, though, is this, and this is what he's trying to pimp. See that right there? Lewd and lascivious, also known as statutory rape.
Wow.
So even if he plead guilty to lewd and lascivious, it's still statutory rape. It's still rape charges. So
is it still? Do he still get a sex offender?
It's rape.
No, me, but it's because I feel like he's trying to plead to something that way he won't get the SO on it, where he have to register. That's what I'm asking. Do we still get
now? You know what? You might have a good here. Here's the other charges from his court docket.
This is the exact court document, y'all. This way.
So now this guy, rabbit hole guy, he brought up a good point that he's not going to want that sex offender thing on his jacket. So I think part of he'll try to plead, say, I don't want that. Now the state may say yay, or the state may say nay. I don't know. But I doubt they let him walk on that, not getting that sex offender jacket, just because he don't have any leverage. Like, what leverage does he have? They got the state has DNA. So they don't have to really do all this stuff. They got DNA. The only reason it's even going this way is because his lawyer is cool with them other lawyers, and they talking and all that, and he getting paid a lot of money. So that's just this is all a formality. They got the DNA. So again, he can try to pull as straight as he wants to, but they got DNA. So nothing he can do. It's a wrap. It's a burrito. It's a gyro. It's a what's them things? Taquitos. It's a wrap.
In charge with. So
these are the 5 charges that he got. These is the initial 2 charges down here that got dropped, right? So these are the 5 charges he's faced with right now. That L and L is the lewd and lascivious. That's the statutory rape. So what his lawyer and the state of Florida negotiated.
Hold on. Tanya said the DNA was on her face and on her clothes. My goodness. Listen, when this thing first happened, they said they had DNA back then. So it's again, if his lawyer is telling him, we cannot put that girl on the stand. So he has to take this plea deal. This is not going to trial. They're not going to have that girl get on there and her mother get on there crying and describing the acts. Could you imagine a 14-year-old, right now she's probably 15, telling everybody the freaky stuff this man was doing to her, the nasty, freaky stuff he was doing? He already had drugged her. He already had drugged her. So again, what's up, Angel? So again, he had to take this deal. He has to take it. That's why he keeps saying, I didn't plead to child molestation, because he knows he's taking a deal. He's got 2 weeks to do it.
Negotiated with was for one or more of these charges to be dropped, and then for him to probably plead guilty to a couple of these other charges. So that's how plea works. It's a plea deal. That's what you got to understand about plea. It's a plea deal. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get guilty in court, you plead out. So they'll drop a few of the charges and you take a few of the charges. That's how it go. But that's why the lawyer said that once he makes the deal, he's going to have to serve jail time, because those is still felonies.
Exactly.
Those are all still felony rape charges. So if he pleads guilty to any of those lewd and lascivious charges, those are still rape, period.
Let me pull up some.
So I mean, y'all heard it, y'all heard the breakdown. So again, brother Polite is just lying. He's just lying. He's lying by omission. He's just lying by omission. He's playing on words. You know, what he's saying is, I haven't pled yet. I haven't pled yet. But he's going to have to plead. You better believe it. He's going to have to plead. Okay, let me put this one up.
Child sacrifice.
Shoot. Let me put this one up, and then I'm going to let me put this one up, then go back to another video.
Child sacrifice.
I'm not gonna play that one. We're gonna go to this one.
Land torn apart.
Now, this is Jenny DeJohn. You can follow her on Instagram and YouTube. She has excellent content. But I saw this video and I like this, so I'm gonna play it. No, he don't want to mess with. Nah, God, it's not. He don't want to mess with Tony the Closer. He don't at all. He don't.
Once upon a time, in a land torn apart by a devastating conflict, the Civil War raged on for 4 years, pitting brothers against brothers and sisters against sisters, and testing the very fabric of a nation. The air crackled with tension, and the once lush fields were now marked by the bloodshed of battle. The year is 1865, and the Civil War has just ended. There were 2 presidents. Abraham Lincoln represented the Union, and Jefferson Davis, the Confederate States. The Confederate government was dissolved in Washington, GA. Abraham Lincoln presented the Emancipation Proclamation, and the Democratic Party responded by creating the KKK. Just in time to foment more hatred, burn down, destroy, and terrorize, as the South was trying to implement a Reconstruction period. The tactics of this democratic paramilitary terrorist organization have just morphed over time, and they don't wear hoods now. And the women make sure that the culture is passed on to the babies. Irony of ironies, Joe Biden in 2021 signed into federal holiday status Juneteenth. The same Joe Biden that didn't want his precious son, Hunter Biden, to attend school with Black children because he said it was a jungle.
Now, Joe Biden really said this. And it's just funny to me that if you dig in Joe Biden's past, Joe Biden is it's laughable that he broke the record for the black vote. And I know black folks say they didn't vote for Joe Biden, but I know y'all voted for Joe Biden. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all should have rioted in the streets when they said that y'all broke the record for Joe Biden. When they said that Joe Biden got more votes than Barry Sotoros, y'all should have tore the streets up, but y'all didn't because y'all was satisfied that Joe Biden won. Y'all wanted Joe Biden to win because y'all wanted Trump out of there. You know, y'all wanted to see the rich white man lose. You wanted to see the rich, arrogant, confident white man lose. You know, you wanted to see the white man, if it was on his mind, you want to see him lose. You know, you wanted the mumbling and fumbling Joe Biden. He was less threatening to you, but turns out he wasn't. Turns out he's actually the worst one we've had in history. When I say one, I mean president. I don't want my children to grow up in a jungle, a racial jungle. I don't want my children to grow up around a bunch of, you know the word. Because to say jungle denotes wild, denotes animal, denotes savage. You know, jungle has a lot of implications when you say the word jungle. So talk about the jungle. That means I don't want my child growing up around the uncivilized. In other words, I don't want my child growing up around those.
And thanks to decades of Democratic policies, especially in the cities, that have turned them into what Joe Biden would say is a jungle. And just like the 1800s, the media is amplifying the racial divide and stirring the pot of hatred. Even today, you will see hashtags Black fatigue on social media, and people are having fun sharing all the crime happening in the Democrat-run cities. And further irony.
And let me say this. Now, again, what Black culture does not promote is context. So they'll say that this stuff is happening in Republican states. But what they're not telling you is that all of the crime is happening in one city in the Republican state, which happens to be Democrat. The 4 largest cities in America have Black mayors. That's Houston, Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. They all have Black mayors, and they all have some of the worst crime in the country. But again, when you bring this stuff up, because it's the truth, they have to smear the person because they can't smear the truth. They can only smear the person telling the truth. So every tactic is aimed at discrediting the person and not what they're saying.
On the Juneteenth celebrations, since it was signed into federal holiday by Joe Biden, the celebrations are marred with violence. Joe Biden has cast a spell on so many Democrats that have completely ignored his connections to Klansmen and his horrendous, embarrassing statements that he makes. You ain't black if you don't vote for him. And Black children reminding him of roaches. I mean,
everything she's saying is factual. And for the record, I've never told anyone to vote Democrat, Republican, or Independent, or Libertarian. I've never told anybody who to vote for. But I have said, if you vote for Joe Biden, you worship Satan. I did say that. I'm not telling anybody who to vote for, but I said, if you vote Democrat, then you worship Satan. That's my statement. If a person say they don't vote, I understand. Person say they vote Republican, I understand. Independent, I understand. But if a person tell me they vote Democrat, oh, you work for Satan. Let's continue.
I don't know what more people need, but I've heard people excuse it and say people change. You gotta love it. And change is at the very heart of what these radical progressives have been doing.
Let me stop right there. Now, y'all do know that the progressives, if you go, dear Black people, you have to read. If you go look up all of the new generation of Democrats, the progressive Democrats, the communists, the Marxists, they all agree on certain things that are detrimental to humanity. They all agree on mandates. They all agree on snake bites. They all agree on climate change. They all agree on socialism. They all agree on communism. They all agree on this stuff. So all of these progressive Democrats have already stated they're putting these global causes in front of the Black issue. Now, I'm going to say this about Black people. I don't believe that Black folks have any issues or need anything. To me, in my opinion, Black people's problem is Black culture, because Black culture is a religion. It's an ideology. It's idolatry. It's witchcraft. It's sorcery. It's Satanism. It's all these bad things. So the issue is that Black people are beholding to Black culture and not the things of God. But let's continue.
To destabilize, to demoralize, and to transform a nation to the point it is unrecognizable. As if we needed another flag. Yes, there is a Juneteenth flag. You know what? Look, we don't need another flag. I am over it. Some people are calling for meteorites to just come now. And the Democrat progressives, they incite people to be disloyal to America. But that's not how. They incite people to be disloyal to America.
I heard some Black man say he did all that crime bill stuff when he was young. Baby, he was bald in that Congress room. Joe Biden has been doing this stuff over 50 plus years. Over 50, he was good and grown. Joe Biden, 80-some years old, he was good and grown doing the crime. And that was in 1994, the crime bill. And Joe Biden said that he authored every crime bill since 1978. So again, if you can't hold Black people accountable, then what separates Black people from Satan? If nobody can say this is wrong, it must stop, then what is separating Black people from Satan? Because Satan can't be held accountable. He gonna do it. He gonna seek for whom he can devour. Coming to steal, kill, and destroy. So my question is, what is separating a group of people that's morality is tied into how much white people get away with? So they assume. Somebody said clonade is, oh, what is that? I don't know. What is clonade? I don't know. I don't know what clonade is. But today's title is Black on the Sabbath. And what Jenny DeJohn just so eloquently said is the progressives are trying to get Black people to go against America. I don't even want to use the word Black, but they want to get the melanated or indigenous people to go against America. Now, I want you to think about this from two perspectives. Let's say that Black folks are indigenous to America. My question would be, then why would you hate America? And if black people built America, my question would be the same. Then why would you hate America? You see that black folks have boxed themselves into a situation where they shouldn't actually hate America. Either they're from here or they built it. Either way, you should respect the country because it's yours. And not just yours in the sense that it's yours, but in the sense that you have stake in this country and what America is. But let's continue. Clonated is the main company creating clones, Blanche. And yes, they have been around for a while. Because Joe Biden is a clone? Oh. Listen, Joe Biden could be a clone or it could be a lizard in a suit. I don't know. But it ain't the old Joe Biden. We know that. Let's continue.
But that's not how it used to be. And I'm questioning the narrative that Hollywood has spun a spell to give us about slavery and the transatlantic slave trade, because it's not what Steven Spielberg or Oprah want you to know. One thing.
And we already know. Before I get, let me get some shout outs because I saw some people and I got super stickers and everything I got to do. What's up, Anita? What's up, Neek? What's up, Nomo? What's up, Kenya? What's up, CGG? What's up, Destro? Angel, what's up? Jojo Mac, what's up? Teach him Chuck, what's up? E Pluribus Unum, what's up? Brandon, what's up? Okay, let me get back to it. But let me say this. So just based on what I've learned with you all over the past 2 years with this whole Black history thing, we can agree that most of it's BS. And we can agree it's BS because it doesn't make any sense. And the biggest lie is that you can be Black without actually having Black skin. And you can be white without actually having white skin. So the whole foundation of everything that's considered Black history is a lie because the whole color thing is a lie. So we got to agree, as I said earlier, that a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. And a good tree cannot bear bad fruit. So if the tree of Black history is based in a lie, black and white colors being a lie, nobody's actually black or white, then how can anything from the bad tree be good? If the foundation is a lie, then that means the fruit's going to only be more lies. And of course, they can't find any slave ships now. Now, to me, it's funny how they're going to be able to find this submarine at the bottom of the ocean, 1,000 leagues beneath the ocean, but they're not going to be able to find any slave ships. Conveniently. Let's continue, though.
I know is that my bloodline has been here. We are of the soil of this land. And I am clearly seeing how the 1800s is the key to understanding what happened to our nation, the coup that came against the people of America. And they remain in power today. But another thing I know for sure is that their power is breaking and fading. And justice is on the way. This is unlike the 1800s. They don't get more time. And the first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
Now, based on what she just said, that Bible scripture where the first shall be last and the last shall be first, then wouldn't that mean that white people being in their position is God's doing? if black people were first and whites were last, then wouldn't by scriptural reference, white folks being first and black folks being last be what God wanted? I'm just asking. I'm playing angel's advocate right now. But as you all ponder on that question, Venus Awakens says, random thought, what if it was black masters that were the ones giving those brutal lashings to black slaves rather than white people? It would make sense since black on black crime is still so high. Well, Venus, that's an excellent point, Venus, that it is possible that the images they're showing could have been done by black slave masters. We don't know. I pretty much question the whole slave narrative just because it's just too many holes in it. And all the holes in it are filled in by Hollywood. So that's why it's just hard for me to even buy a lot of the story, because Hollywood has its fingers in it. And we know that Satan runs Hollywood. So it's just hard to believe. Alex Haley said that 99% of history is fake. He didn't say 5% of history. He said 99%. We just saw a movie called The Woman King, based on a lie. So again, it's hard to really listen to the slavery story because there's so many holes in it. And really what we have to reference slavery is really Hollywood and what we were told by people. We don't actually have anything that we've actually seen ourselves. Instead of, you could say, well, you went here as a plantation. But who's to say they own the plantation? We don't know who owned that plantation. Who's to say that what they're even showing us had actual slaves and not workers? So, you know, maybe I can try to find. I can try to go see something. Let me try to. Let me go to Right Wing Angel real quick, because he has some on here that I really liked. He has something that I liked. Hold on, but that was Jenny DeJohn. I encourage you all to follow her on YouTube and Instagram. Excellent content. She really reminds me of like a Renaissance woman, a true Renaissance woman. But excellent content. As you can see, very forward thinking, very objective. Another video she had that I was looking for, but I couldn't find it at the moment. But it was about how like all these poor white people in these Midwest areas and places voting Republican. But again, I say the greatest indication of Republican is the Black Republican, because the Black Republican epitomizes the Republican. If you think about it, you've never seen a broke Black Republican. Never. All folks that are Black and Republican are successful. And to me, it's nothing to do with political party more than it is a mindset, more than it is a person. Think about it. If a person is Black and chooses to be Republican, they got to literally go against everything to do that. They got to go against friends and family and society to be that. So that type of person's already has an independent thought process, an independent mind. They're already thinking on a different level. So I think it's more to do with a mental aspect than it is a political party, if that makes sense. But that's Jenny DeJohn, excellent content. She can be found on YouTube and Instagram, and DeJohn is spelled Jawn. I think that's a Philadelphia term. But let's go to let's go to my super sticker up here that I forgot. A lot of comments being left. Goodness. see Nomo. I think it was somebody before. Here we go. Ian Mayor. Greetings, Blanche, and everyone on the chat. It's 4 a.m. here on this beautiful Sabbath. God is great. Thank you, Ian Mayor, for the super sticker. God is great. Let's continue. This is a video on Right Wing Angels page, and folks got upset at this. I knew they would, though, but I'm glad he posted it.
They have a Black Miss America. They have a Black college. They have a Black month. What do we have? And now they have Juneteenth. Yes, I understand there was slavery, don't get me wrong. But there was also a Holocaust, and that was more recent than slavery. But you don't hear the Jews saying, gimme, 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 gimme. What's the point of Juneteenth? What is it? I don't know. Juneteenth is, excuse me, what's happening to the white people? They have a Black Miss America. They have a Black college. They have a Black month. What do we have? And now they have Juneteenth. Yes, I understand there was slavery, don't get me wrong. But there was also a Holocaust, and that was more recent than slavery. But you don't hear the Jews saying, gimme, 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 gimme. What's the point of Juneteenth? What is it? I don't know. Juneteenth is, excuse me, what's happening to the white people?
Now, folks got mad at her for what she was saying, but what she was saying was spot on. The Jews didn't say, gimme, gimme, gimme. They just said, this is what we want, and they got it. What they wasn't begging. She's telling the truth. They didn't say, gimme. They just said, give it to us, and that's it. So, what is Juneteenth? Like, again, this type of person doesn't really care about the narrative and the propaganda. She said, what do white people have? If you think about it again, the media, the machine, Hollywood caters heavily to Black people. Heavily. If you don't believe me, just cut your TV on, cut social media on, and the machine is literally catering to Black people. Whether it be Keisha Underwater, whether it be the Woman King, no matter what it is, sports, no matter what it is, the machine is heavily pushing Black people. So much to where the average white person on TV has to be talking about Black people to stay on TV. So when she says, what do white people get? I understand what she's saying, because you think about it, what have white people actually gotten? Like, honestly, what have they actually, think about it, what have they actually gotten? Here, this is yours. Now, I'm not talking about it, I'm talking about now. What are white folks getting now? Now, you all will say, well, white people got all this stuff in the past, they got this, that, and the third. Okay. When does that run out? When is it going to be even? Never. Never. So imagine being white in America and you're being told every day that you're bad. But not just that you're bad, you see the media telling Black folks they're great. Like, it's such a stark contrast that it makes somebody upset. Like, wait a minute, I'm bad because I'm Black, I'm white, but you're good because you're Black. And we already know that you can get on TV and pretty much say anything about white people. You can say they monsters. In Seattle, the guy said the city of Seattle said, or was it Portland? Might have been the city of Portland that said that white people were either devils, demons, or monsters, something negative, and they agree to it. Like, so we know that you can get up on TV and pretty much say anything about a white person and it's okay. Now, many folks say that I want to be white. Many people say that I'm selling out. I've been accused of being an agent. I've been accused of having white folks cut my check and just all this stuff. As if 99% of black folks don't work for white people. 99% of black people work for white people. But somehow if I do it, I'm a sellout. Okay. But I've never had a problem with the way I looked. You've never seen me alter my skin. You've never seen me alter my hair, but one time when I put an S curl in my hair. You've never seen me alter my appearance. You've never seen me try to appear to be anything that I wasn't. But I see black folks every day not wanting to be black. I see black folks around the world not wanting to be black. Bleaching of the skin, straightening of the hair. I see all over the world. And the irony of this stuff happening in places where it's majority country is majority black. So again, I understand where she's coming from in context. The Jews got reparations, but they didn't beg for it. If you notice, the folks not begging ushers, guard the door. The people that aren't begging are the people getting what they want. The people not begging are the people getting what they want. Ushers, get the strap. The people that aren't begging for something are getting something. But the people that are begging for everything are getting nothing. Maybe it's happening because black people are relying on man to do something for them, and the other groups of people are relying on something else. Maybe black folks are getting the result they are getting because they are relying for the white man to do something for them, and all of the other groups are relying on something else. I don't know, maybe. But it just seems to me that the folks not begging get what they want. And the folks that do all the begging, all the crying, all the complaining, all the rioting, all the looting, all the protesting get nothing. Isn't that strange that black people do all of this stuff and get nothing, and nobody else does all this stuff and they get everything? You ain't seen these Hispanics protest now one time, and now the country is letting their whole family come over here. You ain't seen these Hispanics riot and loot not one time, and now the country is letting their whole entire family come over here with a place to stay and a check. Help me out. Help me out. Just help me out. The Afghans are coming over here with a check. Ukrainian Nazis coming over here with a check. Native Americans getting more land and a check. Hispanics, or should I say immigrants from south of the border getting a check, coming over here. Everybody is getting, Asians getting a check, protection and a check. Matter of fact, the Asians done got so smart, they done flew to South America and Mexico to migrate and come into the country that way. So it's funny that everybody is finding a way to get into America. Black folks being here the whole time and can't figure it out. Make it make sense to me, please. Just make it make sense. Everybody is getting what they want except Black people. And I'm scratching my head because y'all the kings and the queens, the gods and the goddesses. Just doesn't make any sense to me. But I believe that the reason why Black folks are getting the results they are getting is because they have made white people their God. And they are going to reap that harvest. Nobody else has made white folks their God except Black people. Nobody else does that. Nobody. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Thank you again, Ian Mayor, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Let me go to, I think it was Nomo next. Miss Kat Sinclair says if you're American, you marry illegal immigrant, you are treated as an illegal immigrant. If you're American, you marry illegal immigrant, treated as I don't know. I ain't never seen that. I thought if you married an illegal immigrant, they become a legal citizen. No, you can't live on. Well, I ain't gonna say that. But let's continue. And I'm just going to end on this. Just going to end on this.
Barbaric. Child sacrifice. Barbaric. Evil. Ancient. Modern. There's nothing new under the sun. Throughout history, children have been sacrificed to a variety of deities in attempts to gain favor or blessings. Aztecs cut their children's hearts out to appease the gods of rain and war. Incas sacrificed their children to the sun god so their crops would flourish.
Imagine this. They're telling you that colonization was the worst thing ever. But then they don't tell you how the folks was acting before colonization. They'll have you believe that it was better that the Incans and the Mayans and the Aztecs cut their children's hearts out and sacrificed to the false gods than it was for colonization. I'm not saying colonization was good. I'm simply saying they created this narrative where they make you believe that every civilization lived peacefully and harmony and did everything right until the white man showed up. And it's just not true. I'm sorry. All these civilizations we see around the world, been sacrificing children. Let's continue though. Let me start over. Let me start over.
Child sacrifice. Barbaric. evil, ancient, modern. There's nothing new under the sun. Throughout history, children have been sacrificed to a variety of deities in attempts to gain favor or blessings. Aztecs cut their children's hearts out to appease the gods of rain and war. Incas sacrificed their children to the sun god so their crops would flourish. Canaanites sacrificed their infants to Moloch for prosperity. Drums were played loudly to drown out the baby's screams. Child sacrifice never stopped, and we still don't hear their screams. There's nothing new under the sun. We sacrifice our children today, not for rain or war victories, but for freedom or convenience. We sacrifice to gain favor in the workplace, or for the blessings of money or fame. We sacrifice our babies on the altar of free sex. Child sacrifice is no longer a public event. It's done behind closed doors. Rather than a gory burning or bloody stabbing, it's become a neat, sterile, and clinical event. We don't throw our children into the fire or leave them to freeze to death. We starve our babies. We poison them. We rip off their arms and legs and crush their skulls. We call it choice. We call it empowerment. And our culture condones it. We celebrate it. We celebrate baby murder. We consider it vital to our existence. It's become a right. But nothing is different.
So, I'll let it finish. I'm sorry.
We call it empowerment, and our culture condones it. We celebrate it. We celebrate baby murder. We consider it vital to our existence. It's become a right. But nothing is different. There's nothing new under the sun. Innocent human beings are still being sacrificed for the selfish gains of those more powerful. Modern child sacrifice is thriving. We must end it. End abortion.
Now, you know, in the future, it's going to be misinformation to say that someone should have an abortion. They're going to label it misinformation because they're going to say that that an abortion is health care. Just like they'll be against you, you won't be able to say that climate change is fake. You won't be able to say that abortion isn't good either. So, but this is called Black on the Sabbath. So my question is, if we see the history of child sacrifice, how is the Black community reconciling with the fact that Black women lead the nation in abortion? How is the Black community reconciling with the fact that Black women lead the nation in abortion? How are we reconciling with the fact that Planned Parenthood, 80% of them are in areas filled with Black people? So again, I'm only highlighting this because Black people call themselves the chosen people. They call themselves the gods and the goddesses, the kings and the queens. So if that is the case, then how are we reconciling with this behavior with Black culture? How are we doing it? It just doesn't make it. I can't see how we're doing it. We just saw a history of child sacrifice, and in modern day, it's still child sacrifice. The only difference is we don't sacrifice to gods anymore because we've made ourselves the gods. We don't sacrifice to the gods anymore because we've made ourselves the gods. So now we appease ourselves instead of the gods, because now today we're the gods. Same act. It's just now we're the gods. But yeah, so Doug, I will play your video next time. I don't know when I'm coming on live again. I will be doing Cutting Through the Culture with Chad O. Jackson, Teach 'em Chuck, and Keisha King on Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I will be doing that. I might come on, I don't know, maybe Sunday morning, maybe definitely next week, though. Definitely like a Monday, definitely on Monday and Wednesday. But I thank y'all for tuning in today. I thank you all for the super stickers. I thank you all for the, you can't give any badges, I guess, but I thank you all. And I'm going to go to those Bible scripture real quick, this Bible verse that I read today about let me see. Genesis 50:20. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. I like how it's kind of sounds like broken English to emphasize the point. You say it's only 2 minutes. I looked at it, I put it up on YouTube, it was 14 minutes. It was 14 minutes on YouTube when I pulled it up. I don't know what version you got. Let me see.
Convinced half of the world to not only accept sin, but to celebrate it. Do you know what has been my most enjoyable pride campaign to date? No, what? Well, my gay pride campaign, of course. Not only do I get the chance to promote your own self-destruction, I get to use God's logo, the rainbow, to do it. Love is love, right? My plan not only prevents you worthless humans from reproducing, it distorts the gender roles and allow me to bring all types of chaos and confusion upon your pathetic societies. It's been so successful, I've got men convinced they're women, and women convinced they're men, and some convinced they're no gender at all. And I've got 2 more Pride Initiative campaigns I'd like to introduce in the near future. And second is pedophilia pride. Now, society might not be ready for this one just yet, so we'll hold off. I've convinced half of the world to not only accept sin, but to celebrate it. Do you know what has been my most enjoyable pride campaign?
And again, the Bible says that pride is the beginning of sin. Angel put a scripture, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Children are a gift from the Lord. They are a reward from him. Amen. But what the Dick Doug showed with the devil talking is that this is what Satan has done. Satan has convinced not just black people, but Satan has convinced the world that he doesn't exist. And if he doesn't exist, then sin doesn't exist. And if sin doesn't exist, then we don't have to be held accountable to God. Really what all this is about is really not being accountable to God. The Genesis 50:20 says, again, but as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. So what they intend for evil, God will turn into good. And that's for Miss Kat Sinclair. She mentioned that her husband does not want the snake bite, so that may affect his national status in America. They may be dangling the snake bite over his citizenship in America. So we got to pray for her and her husband that they can get through that, because again, what the enemy has meant for evil, God has meant for good. And so we got to believe that. That's for everybody though. But it's impossible to be black on the Sabbath, because to be black is to not be of God. And even to be white is to not be of God, because those are things that the devil has placed on you as an identity. And it's just a false one. But again, I love you all. And I thank you all so much for tuning in today. And I want us to be encouraged. I want us to be strong in our faith, exercise our faith, and, you know, believe for what you might think is impossible. Practice your faith. Believe for the impossible and work towards it. You never know. Don't stop praying. You know, all that good stuff. Chat closed. What chat is closed? Angel Wing says, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. God's not out to hurt your pride. He is out to kill your pride. Exactly. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. And I want us to be on these lives and coming together. There will come a time we have to come together. It is what it is. We want to separate from these people. I know it sounds inconvenient, but God will make a way. And I believe that in the Bible where it said we got to go in there and possess the land, I believe that God's telling us the same thing today. Those giants that Aaron and Caleb saw in the promised land are the same giants that we see today. Those giants in the name of Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and the unseen hand of those elite families, those 6 elite families. I don't want to call them elite, those 6 wicked lizard families. You know, the Biden administration is a bunch of giants that we're facing, but God is still telling us to go out there and possess the land, because God's telling us to exercise our faith. And so we got to own the land, the farms, the communities, all this stuff. I know it seems impossible now, but this is what God wants. And I believe we can do it. I believe, this is just me my wishful thinking, but I believe that if we were to separate and, you know, do all this stuff, that God will protect it. I know it sounds like wishful thinking. I know it sounds like a fairy tale, but I believe that if we separate and build our own stuff, I believe that God will protect it. I do. Anyway, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. And I will see you all again soon. Definitely on Sunday. We're Cutting Through the Culture with Chad Jackson, Teach Him Chuck, and Keisha King, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. All right.